Hello, happy Thursday. It is Joraine Costales with the Costales team, and we are here for another episode or another live broadcast of Thursday Talks with the Costales team. And I have my husband, Marc, and CFO partner joining me shortly. And we have a very interesting topic that and so let's talk about a few things today. Hello, Chris. As I'm waiting for Marc to join the live. Oh, hello. I see you there, kind sir.
Hello.
How's it going?
Hmm. Bumps in the road. Bumps in the road.
Do we say that every week about real estate?
No.
Are you sure? Because I
It's
feel
always
like
it's always a good day in real estate, right?
is it really? Because it's so easy, anyone can do it.
No. No. No, definitely not. Yeah, you gotta have a certain type of edge to you. But what's our topic? I know me and Rodney were like talking about some stuff that we probably wanted to talk about, but
Yeah.
um,
So the real cost of waiting and how that could affect your dream home,
hmm.
I guess.
Um, hmm. Like we gotta use a different context though.
Okay. Go ahead. It's your
Well,
show.
that's not my show. It's our show. But no, I mean, I think that the cost of waiting can cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. It can cost you time, which you can't get back. It can cost, it could be the difference between, sanity and your life, so happiness and sadness. I mean, there's
Mm-hmm.
a plethora, I mean, depending on what you value, right? You know, I've I'm not going to say anything about us waiting, to for anything to happen. But I mean, I think that when we purchased our first home during a crazy 2014 market, where we put four bids on four different homes, and all of them got outbid, no matter how crazy their inspections were. I think one of them had over $100,000 worth of like termites, and we were like, still put a bid. That's how bad the market was back then. Well, not bad, meaning that you would literally need to get into anything that you could in order to be like, whew,
No,
take a deep breath.
correction. We didn't know that until we got our offer accepted and we did our inspections that we found out. And it was revealed that there was 100,000 in termites.
Oh yeah, so let's talk about that. We put four bids on four homes. One of them I think did get accepted, and we spent so much money on
No,
inspections.
three of
Uh,
them got accepted.
Three of them got accepted. I didn't know that. I completely forgot. But even then, like one, I think one was over 100,000 worth of termites. One of them, the inspector said you should burn this place, and then rebuild, right? And then the other one was
No, no, no,
one.
no, no. Okay, you're just giving people false information.
What?
Okay, they didn't say burn the house down and rebuild. Okay, let me be clear because I recall clearly what happened. So in that house, we got our offer accepted. We did our inspection because the seller hadn't provided pre-sale inspections. And then we found out that there were termites and fungus and dry rot and all sorts of stuff going on in the house, which sometimes you find out after you get your offer accepted if the seller didn't provide inspections. And we always advise buyers you should do that. And usually, pest inspectors will give you a quote for how much it will cost to get rid of the termites, to fix the fungus, dry rot, treat the soil, tent the house, fumigation, whatever it needs. In that situation, they didn't say burn it. They said, we're not going to give you a quote. We're not going to give you an estimate. And we said, why? And they said, because it would probably be cheaper for you to just let the termites eat it to the ground and build new versus fixing all the things that are wrong with this house. That is what they said, end quote. Um,
That was,
but kind of like what you said, which is like burn it to the ground
you
and
might
rebuild.
as well burn it down. I mean,
But in terms of pricing, like it would have been cheaper. And I guess that's what they were looking at, why they couldn't quote us. They said, it would be cheaper for you to just let the termites eat it to the ground. So, and no, we didn't
Well,
buy the house, for the question on there that said, did we buy the termite house? No, we didn't. There were a lot of things with a lot of homes that we got into contract with that we found out things. Four, four. We wrote 4 offers and we got our offer accepted 4 times. Yes.
we
There was
kind
the
of,
house on Princeton, the house on East, the house on the weird termite house, um, and then the one we ended up
but it,
buying.
it didn't get accepted at first
That is
because remember,
the one that the fourth one. Yes, it didn't get accepted at
correct?
first, but the previous buyers backed out, and then they came back to us, and we resubmitted our offer, and we were able to get our offer
Yeah,
accepted. But still,
but
four houses, 4 offers. I mean,
yeah, but I mean, again, during that time, it was still busy, right? There was a lot of people bidding on these homes, right? Multiple offers, um, all in the city of Hayward, right? But at that time, if we didn't get into a house at that time, we gave up. Like, I think we were thinking about, man, if nothing gets, because we were getting priced out. We are getting priced out of the market. And because it was just way too, I mean, come on now. You're seriously going to be like, oh, I think I need to get into this house regardless if there's, you know, $100,000 worth of things that needs to get done. It's not a smart move, right? But I mean, the house that we got, there was really nothing wrong with the home. It was just on a really busy street. That was pretty much it. But I mean, again, that's a sacrifice that we had to make in order to now say, oh my gosh, we bought it for what, under 400,000, and it's now going to be worth anywhere between 700,000 minimum. Now ask yourself this, and you can ask anybody this. In the past, since we bought that house in 2014, 10 years,
mm,
can you say, anybody right now, you were able to save $300,000? You ask anybody, I'm sure. I mean, well, there's probably a percentage of people that that are like, oh my gosh, they're hella rich. But other than that, it's like a majority of the people that know us, if not all, don't even have, not even close to that amount. And it's hard to save. I mean, given the fact that we live in the Bay Area, that's the problem, right? But I mean, again, that is the equity that's there and waiting for us to cash in if we choose to. But it's kind of a nest egg, right? We could save the home and let our kids use it, right? We don't know. But I mean, again, the price of waiting, right? It can cost you that in itself. We didn't wait. The reason why is because we need to get in, and now the benefit of that is we can possibly be, two, three, 400,000 in equity on the home, right? So I mean, again, that's a thing that you have to kind of decide, and by waiting, there are a lot of things that can go wrong. There's a lot of things that can go right, but again, it has to make sense to you as a person that's purchasing a home or selling a home. It has to make sense to you, because if it doesn't, then there's no reason for you to go through the mumbo jumbo. Don't think like, oh, I'm just gonna throw my house on the market and see if it's gonna sell. No, the intention is you want to sell for a particular reason, and you need to make sure that that is your focal point, right? So, um, yeah, that's it. Very simple topic. Okay, bye everybody. Any questions out there in regards to waiting? Has anybody waited since 2020 and still hasn't bought? I want to know who that is.
or
Please.
did you buy? And are you glad you did? I mean, we talk to our clients all the time, and they're so glad that they bought when they did. They look at how the value of their home has grown over time, and they said, "Man, I wouldn't be able to afford my house today if I had to buy it. I'm so glad I bought way back when I did, right? 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago." Because, like you said, it's a forced savings. And I was talking to, hi, G. I was talking to a buyer before I hopped on this live, and they're renting, which a lot of first time home buyers are, right? They're renting. And he's like, man, interest rates aren't at 3% anymore. And I said, you're right. They're not. They're, close to double that. And, back when interest rates were 3%, right, in 2020. we're looking at the lowest interest rates have been in the course of 50 years. So we had to wait 50 years to see that all-time low. So the odds of it probably coming back in our lifetime, I mean, I'm not a fortune teller. I don't know the future, but I would say that it'd be a pretty safe projection that that's not something that you want to bank on or wait for in order to make a move. Um, I mean, I saw someone the other day post on Instagram, they bought when their interest rates were 8%. And they're glad that they bought when they did because they, were able to secure a certain price on their home. And now that interest rates have dropped, then they've refinanced and now they've refinanced to 5 point, whatever the interest rate is that they got. And they posted it on their story that they were refinancing and are now paying a 5% whatever interest rate. So,
Yeah, I mean it's true. I mean, I remember a client that you had way early in your career, and she wanted to buy a place in San Carlos. You remember that client? She wanted to buy like a little condo or something like that, and it was like 600,000. And then she talked to you 8 months later, and that same condo, same exact one in that complex was selling for like 800,000. We're talking 8 months, so it's like a $200,000 jump in, in looking. And then again, she was just like, "Hey, I wanted to let you know that I looked at this other one and it's 800,000 now. Man, I should have bought." Then, hmm, hindsight's 2020. I'm not telling you to buy a house now. I'm just saying, at least inquire. Like even people that don't think that they can get approved, just try. It doesn't hurt you to have a conversation. We're not scary
mm,
people. Like it's a phone call to find out whether or not you're gonna have a future in a home or not.
yeah,
Don't you think you can get over that fear of talking
yeah,
to somebody? It doesn't cost anything,
yeah.
you know?
And
So
and this also goes for people that are thinking of selling in order to buy, right? Like either buy the bigger home, buy the dream home, upgrade, buy an investment property, right? Like there's so many things that real estate allows you to do in terms of options. It's not just like a one size fits all where, you buy a home, live in it forever, and it's going to be the only home you're ever going to live in. Or you buy a home and you never move, you never refinance, you never pull cash out, you never buy any other home, right? Like you only need one home in your life, which is great. There's some people that are like that. I know a lot of people that are like that.
hmm,
And that's cool, but real estate is the biggest hedge of protection against inflation. And it's been time and time again proven and shown to help create wealth in the pockets of everyday people or even business owners or entrepreneurs or investors. And you see all these people that are rich, even, you know, you look at these big names, right? Like Warren Buffett, the Warren Buffetts of the world, or the people on Shark Tank, right? Like all these people own real estate, right? Hi guys, hi Dream Real Estate Group. So, you know, anyhow, sorry. Squirrel,
squirrel.
I get easily distracted. Um, but yeah, you look at all these big names and it's like, well, how can you diversify your opportunities or diversify your investment portfolio or your real estate portfolio so that you are able to make money off of either your current home, investment properties? I mean, it's not like a one size fits all. And Marc said this. We might have to trademark it because I think it's so good. But he said it's not a one size fits all, it's a one size fits one. And so I feel like just like with every homeowner, the situation's different. Every home seller, the situation is different. Your future investment portfolio or what you can afford to take on is different from your coworker or your neighbor or someone else who bought or sold, right? Like it really just depends on your specific situation. Should everyone buy? No. Should everyone sell? No. Is everyone going to make money when they sell? No. Is everyone going to lose money when they sell? No, right? Like it really just depends. Like when did you buy? How much did you buy for? Did you have good advice at the time you made that decision? Do you have good advice now? And do you know what the future holds, right? Like so many variables and things to take into consideration when making any real estate investment decision. But if you make none and you have paralysis by analysis, then I guarantee there's one thing we can guarantee is that you're just going to let opportunities slip you by and you're not going to be ready when they do come into your lap or fall into your lap, because then you're like, oh, darn, should have bought when interest rates were low. Yes, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't buy now, you know?
Right. Yeah, and it's funny because like we that happened to us because we were like we bought our house in Hayward, our second house in Hayward, and you're like, oh my gosh, we got to buy in Tracy. Could you imagine what our DTIs would have been if we just ended up buying another home, like like a month later when you wanted to buy in Tracy? Like, I don't even know what that situation would look like. Like, it'd be scary. I mean, I think we'd be counting the dollars, but it's like, I don't know. But I mean, again, Drain's right. It's a one size fits one. There is no, because you get a lot of questions, right? A lot of people are like, hey, my friend did this, right? Um, my friend bought a piece of land and they built a house and they did it in 2 years. So I have a lot of questions when somebody says that. It's like, did you guys have the same exact job, same exact money, same exact credit score, same exact, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't compare apples to apples. Somebody may have been more motivated than you to go do it, right? So it's like you don't have the same exact money they got. You don't have the same exact credit score. You want to do something that somebody else did, then you got to follow in their exact same footsteps, right? Process could be the same, but you are not the same, right? That's like saying, yo, I want to go lose weight like Marc Senoris did. But I'm not going to follow in his footsteps because one, his body's different than mine. His metabolism is different than mine, right? So his motivation is different than mine. You see what I'm saying? So it's, again, your motivation will determine how motivated you are in order to do fill in the blank, So,
And that's anything in life, right?
right,
Like
right.
we talk about, it's not a lack of opportunity, it's a lack of
Hmm.
motivation. And just like people say, oh, I can't do that. Why can't you? Like, I remember, I don't know if this is like TMI, right? But
Ew.
like, I remember, okay, it's not me. Okay, it's not me.
Sure.
But I remember being in
My
high
friend.
no, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. But I remember being in high school, right? And there was this girl who's
Mm,
not me.
this
And,
girl?
and I'm not the girl. And I'm not the person that I'm going to be talking about. But it's like, I remember this girl was having like a cotillion or like an 18th birthday party or whatever. And
Hmm.
like her mom had to take on like 2 jobs or whatever, or pick up extra
Yeah.
shifts, and do whatever they needed to do to like make extra money to be able to like throw that party or whatever, right? And the same thing too, like when we talk to our clients who want to buy, it's about like limiting your spending, budgeting things, not taking the fancy trips that you wanted to go to, or door dashing food every day, or drinking the Starbucks coffee, right? Like we have clients that were like, oh yeah, we had a Europe trip
Yes.
planned, but then we canceled it because we wanted to just save our money and said, you know what, like buying a house is more important. Like we're going to cancel our Europe trip. I mean, that shows
We
dedication
didn't
and
tell
motivation.
her to do it neither.
Yeah, and I mean the same thing with selling a home, right? Like, yeah, it's a emotional process, but are you committed to the process? Like, do you really want to be out of that home in order to buy the dream home, or to relocate and go to the school system that you want your kids to be in, or whatever, that selling that home is going to afford you whatever opportunity, right? And so, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, waiting is also an action. So when you do nothing, that's also an action too.
Mm-hmm.
That's like, we had a conversation about this the other day. It's like if something were to happen in front of you, like you do nothing, that's an action,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, I mean, again, we're not telling you to buy a home now. We're not telling you to wait. We're not telling you to, sell your left lung to go get a. I'm not saying that. Just like I said, it has to make sense. If you want to present something to us and be like somebody was telling me, like, hey man, somebody told me they bought a house scot free. I'm like, really? Are they a VA? Are you a VA? Are you a veteran? Did you go through these? There are programs out there that
Yeah.
you can buy a home for
Yeah.
free, but
Yeah.
like, are you willing to go through that process, because I know somebody that went through the process and it took them a year just to get the application. And when they got the application, the the approval amount that they got was like what some people make in like a year, and that's terrible because there's nothing you could buy, in that particular price range, right? So, I mean, again, it just depends on. It has to make sense. Just because there were programs 25 years ago doesn't mean that those same programs are going to be here. We are a completely different area, different type of economy, different agent, different everything. You can't use those same things and think that you're going to yield the same results. Not going to happen. I'm sorry to tell you. Like burst your bubble of dreams or whatever, but like pop.
Hi, Paulette. I'm just saying hi to everybody on here.
Oh,
Uh, hello,
Paulette.
California Home Trust. Yeah, but like you said, even though we don't want to burst people's dream bubbles, right? I feel like every dream can be attained, right? It's just a matter of time, dedication, faith in the process, because anything can be accomplished with time, right? Anything can be accomplished with money if it's a matter of money, right? If it's a matter of, I mean, I don't know, whatever the situation is. Like I feel like all things are possible. Maybe that's just because we have a very faith-filled background. But we're not delusional, right? Like we're very realistic in our expectations. Like we know. But then again, we've seen a lot of things that exceed expectations many times where we're like, whoa, like that's like almost impossible. But hey, here we are doing it. So
Yeah. I mean, there are times where people just need to get brought down to
oh,
earth. Like I think somebody approached me, they're like, "Hey, I want to buy a house." I'm like, "Great. What's your plan?" And I get into the details. They don't have a job. They don't have any money. They don't have any friends. And you don't have, I mean, you don't, those are kind of like the key things you need in order to even have a conversation. I'm talking to you. I'm like, okay, well, what is your plan? Since your thought is, I want to go do something. What are the things you're going to do in order to get there? Are you going to get a job? Are you going to build your credit? Are you going to get some money besides robbing a bank? Like, how are you going to do that? Right? So, like, when somebody tells me, hey, I want to go buy a house and I don't have any of those things, I'm like, well, what's your plan? Right? I mean, we could work on it together. Like, I mean, there's definitely a lot of jobs out there. I know that the employment rate is has lowered, but there are a lot of jobs out there. And there's some people that are like, oh my gosh, I can't find a job. And I'm like, there you can work somewhere. You can grit and grind. Like, there's this one thing that I saw. Like, be creative. Like, there was this one TikTok I saw. It was so stupid, but like he was working at McDonald's, and he said, I want to be the best drive-through person and give them anybody going through the drive-through the best experience. And this dude was just like, "Hey, how's it going? Blah blah blah, doing all." And I'm like, "Yo, that's some stuff." Like, have you guys seen that one guy that like he door knocks? He started door knocking and was talking about and he's very swift with his like words, but he's not even a good salesman. He's just funny. He just asks people, "Hey, can I clean this window?" I don't know if you guys saw this guy, but he's like breaded now. Like you see him now, he's walking in Jordans. He's got a Gucci belt, and like if you watch him, he wears a beanie sometimes. But he's very like very candid with his words, and he'll say stuff like, I just want to be down too, like Aaliyah or something like that. And he's like, oh, these windows are gonna be clearer than vision of like I don't know. It's just weird. He says weird stuff, but look him up. Like dude like that, that's how he started, was just door knocking and just quick with his tongue. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of opportunity out there. Like being even an influencer, just eating in front of a camera could possibly get you followers and get you money. Like there is so much opportunity to get money out there. You just got to be able to find the ways to do so. So just all you got to have is the motivation, right? Have that plan to make, hey, I'm just going to go to every single McDonald's and try one nugget and post about it. You see what I'm saying? Like the stupidest thing. People will be like, oh my gosh, this guy's so stupid, but they'll watch it and have like millions of views. So again, you take advantage of what's out there and, do what you can to get where you want, right? Not to say like you want to go kill people or do anything illegal, but I mean, again, just do what you got to do, have the motivation in mind, right? And have faith in yourself as well as your ability. So, um,
that's good. I mean, that's a mic drop if I've ever heard one.
I don't have a microphone, but I can drop my phone if you'd like. So,
Okay.
but
Any,
anyway,
anyhow, I
but
mean, any other questions or are we wrapping? I mean, I had a mortgage calculator up just in case we needed to run numbers and really talk about the cost of waiting, you know. But
well, trying to get the thumbs up thing to come up.
okay.
Oh, just keep coming. All right. Well, I think that's a wrap, everybody.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us. Thanks for the questions. Thanks for the love, the shout outs. If you're watching the replay, feel free to drop a comment in the comments section or drop your questions. And as always, we are available for you to DM us if you have any questions or anything else we can help with. Right?
Zoom.
All right. Well, have a great Thursday. Go Niners.